Congressman Walker shows some support for both sides of this racially sensitive debate, but ultimately he comes down on the side of keeping the monuments. You have some thoughts on what you think we as a country should be doing about this problem.
Yeah, I've seen some recent polls that most people believe the historical components of that should stay in place.
The polls Congressman Walker referenced would likely reflect the majority of his constituents, who are mostly white and Republican, like himself. But polls aside, where does Congressman Walker stand? Do you have an opinion on what we should or should not do with the monuments?
Well, I believe where we should go right now, specifically on the monuments, as a former pastor, I want to make sure that we're sensitive to all the different concerns in our communities. But I don't know that the solution right now is removing all the Confederate monuments in all the different city places.
Walker says he opposes the toppling of the Confederate monument in Durham, calling it, quote, mob rulish. He says for many families, the monuments are symbols of sacrifice.
A lot of these monuments were erected to think about the 17, 18, 19-year-old young men who lost their lives. And this is what a lot of those monuments have represented for many of the families. So we want to make sure there's a sensitive component in that as well before we decide to remove any of the monuments.
What do you say to those who say these monuments really went up in the 1900s during the period of white supremacy and the Jim Crow era?
Well, and that's a fair argument. You can't sit here and blanketly say that you have to remove that component of the sensitivity as well. I'm very proud of the relationships that we have with all communities. So this is something that's real and it's painful on a part of our country that we didn't get right at first, and that's something that you just can't turn your back on.
Congressman Walker says he believes the debate over Confederate monuments needs to continue. In Greensboro, I'm Bill ONeil, WXII 12 News.
The opioid crisis